UVA baseball coach Brian O'Connor is a reported top target for the open job at Mississippi State, which just fired its baseball coach, Chris Lemonis, who had won a national title there just back in 2021. But he was only in one NCAA tournament the last three seasons. Actually lost to Virginia last year in the Charlottesville Regional as Virginia went on its way to another College World Series appearance. Mississippi State was 25 and 19 last week when Lemonis got axed 7 and 14 in the SEC. He was making 1.325 million at Mississippi State, which is actually less than what Virginia is paying Brian O'Connor. He signed a 3-year extension last summer on the eve of the College World Series. Actually, we were in Omaha when the news was announced. O'Connor getting paid 1.4 million a year under the terms of his new deal, which with a 3-year extension goes through the 2031 season. And so it's not money for O'Connor necessarily that would be the issue, but there is talk around the UVA Athletics department that there is legitimate reason for concern that O'Connor might be willing to listen to the people down there in Starkville. Word has been circulating since last fall that O'Connor, who is in his 22nd season at Virginia, is frustrated with a lack of commitment from UVA Athletics to use money from the $20.5 million that the House settlement will authorize to go toward compensation for student athletes at schools to go towards his program for his ball players. Now, I've not seen anything formal on this, but the word circulating behind the scenes is that UVA Athletics is planning to use 95% of its money under the House settlement to go to football and men's basketball, with the other varsity sports getting basically crumbs. Now, I don't know why any other Power Four school would do anything differently, and that includes Mississippi State, where they're in the SEC, they play big boy football down there, and it's not like Mississippi State makes a ton of money at baseball either. I looked up the numbers using the Sportico reference point. Baseball averages roughly 10,000 fans per home game have for the last several years, and yet they still run annual operating deficits over the last several years, anywhere from $2 to $3 million per year on baseball, which is very similar to UVA baseball, $2 to $3 million in losses per year for UVA baseball, and UVA baseball averages just 4,000 fans a game. The reality here is that money in college sports comes from TV money. And college baseball doesn't make money on TV, largely because only the diehards are watching, and there aren't many diehards. I looked at the numbers for this. The World Series each year does do pretty well, 2.5 million on average for that 2 weeks. But the super regionals are closer to 500,000. The regionals get an average of 250,000 that weekend. And there's only a relative few regular season games on broadcast cable. A lot of games are on ESPN3. The ones that are on broadcast cable get less than 100,000. Folks who have watched me talk and read my stuff for years know that I did ESPN3 for Southern Conference baseball, a big step down from the ACC and SEC. I always used to wonder if more than 100 people, not 100,000, were watching those games. And of course, these numbers are a tiny fraction of the numbers you see for football and men's basketball, which is why athletics departments are saying, hey, we're going to put more money from this house settlement into football and men's basketball. That's where we get our best return on investment. So now I'll take it back to Brian O'Connor, Mississippi State. I don't doubt that Mississippi State is going to want to make a splash hire. I mean, it's this, looking at the list of the head coaches out there that at least Mississippi State's rumored to be interested in. There's a lot of guys out there who would be a splash hire, and they wouldn't be doing their due diligence down there in Starkville if they didn't make a reach out to O'Connor's people just to see if he's interested. I mean, he's one of the best two or three coaches in the country. You got if you're doing your job right, you're asking Brian O'Connor if he's going to be having any interest in your school. Him taking the job wouldn't be about getting more money for himself. I just pointed out he's making more money than Mississippi State was playing as a national championship winning coach. It would be about a promise from Mississippi State for more money for recruiting and retention of players. And I'd expect them to at least make that promise. I don't know about the delivery part of it, but they can make the promise. And how much bigger it could be given what he has at UVA. He might find out if he did express interest in at least listening that what he gets from UVA is probably comparable to even what the SEC gets. He's got guys, he's got the regular donors to UVA Athletics, and then there's the guys like Ryan Zimmerman, Sean Doolittle, Chris Taylor, others who've, made a name for themselves and done well for themselves in MLB, who regularly write checks for expansions at Disherman Park and other things. It'd be hard to figure that they wouldn't be willing to help out with NIL as well. So, bottom line, I don't see it happening personally, but here we go again. We have to worry about one of the big boys making a run to poach our guy.